to episode 34 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and welcome to my knit night. Today is Sunday the 7th of April 2019 and we are back in my kitchen once again. I am crammed in between the dining table, the area full of clothes, the chalkboard and a vast selection of knitty gumph all around me. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer, and thank you so much if you are checking me out for the first time. I appreciate you so much. What is going on with this? I don't know what's going on with that. I appreciate you so much. If you fancy hitting subscribe after you see this video, I would crazily appreciate it, because every time I get a subscriber it's like a little happy dance happens in my house. I'm like, subscriber! And you make my day just a little bit better. I started this podcast because I have no in-person knitty yarny friends. I have one crochet friend. She is not a crocheter with a capital C. She's a sometimes crochet, never in public crochet girl, whereas I am her crazy knitty friend. I would consider myself a knitter with a capital K. If you have watched before, you will know that is because 99.9% of the time, if my hands are free, there is knitting in them. Yeah, this is where I come to talk about knitting because I live here in the town that is the most easterly point of England in the UK, and live here with my husband and our 2-year-old little girl. Neither of them knit, so you know, I need to get this out somehow, and I don't have a knit night. My local yarn shop does have knit groups. None of them are at times when I don't have this 2-year-old hanging around. I need an evening one that is late enough that my husband can get home from work after his quite long commute. Anyway, so this week all the things have happened. First thing I'm going to talk about is that the colourwork cal that I have, that I'm sharing with Katie of the Geordie Knits podcast, has begun. The stranded colourwork cal that we are running it on Ravelry. I haven't opened my Ravelry thread yet. I will do that very soon for finished objects, because there is finished objects already. So we're running it through our Ravelry groups and through her Facebook group. So Katie originally set up a Facebook group for the flax along, which was her knit along that is now over. And it was such a lovely group. It is such a lovely group. So many lovely people came and joined in, and I've made some lovely friends through there, because I also joined in with the flax along. And now Katie has changed the name of the group to Knit Along with Geordie Knits and the Lonely Knitter, and I'm a moderator on the or an admin on the Facebook page, and yeah, between us we have that page going at the moment with a stranded colourwork knit along. I'm sorry if you're wobbling. Mimo is rubbing her face on the books that the little tripod is standing on. Mimo, would you like a cuddle? So, come on then. So we have that Facebook group. It is a really lovely place to come and hang out with us if you would fancy it. And the stranded colourwork cal that we are running, which we are calling the hashtag Strand into Summer. Mimo, just doing some of that. So that we're calling hashtag Strand into Summer is now started and begun, and it just has to be stranded colourwork, guys. So no slipping stitches to make it look like colourwork. Has to be stranded colourwork. And yeah, you have like 3 months. We are running it for 3 months starting from the 1st of April. So come and join us. Use the hashtag on Instagram. You never know, we might take something from there. But yeah, it's just it's gonna be really nice because Katie is one of my absolute knitting besties. Between me, Katie of Geordie Knits, and Mia of Brambles and Me, that is a online yarn store. Mia is an amazing dyer, and she dyes with natural dyes. And yeah, we have our own little Instagram chat that we are always in and talking about knitting. It's so nice because I finally have a little group of people that I can jabber at any time to about knitting, and they are always interested and they always get it, and they don't think I'm crazy because I am always knitting. Anyway, so that is the colourwork cowl. That is the cowl that we have going on at the moment. One last little bit of admin-y things, and that is that this week I have released a pattern. I did it today. Promptly cacked myself. Thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I am gonna film a video quite soon about my anxiety and how it works for me. And yeah, I got over it. I didn't tell anyone that I was going to do this, and it's my champion socks. So you might remember the champion socks. I've shown them before. I'll show you again in a minute. I'll just put this cap down. Just sit here for a minute. These socks, they work best with a 5 set of 20 gram minis. So you can have a little bit less for some of them. And it is 2 stitch patterns, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 again, repeated throughout the sock with a short row heel and a wedge toe, and there is a pair I have knit too. I knit these a while ago. This is yarn from Family Tree Yarns, and they were knit because I had a ridiculous amount of support from Jane at Family Tree Yarns and Kelly of Lay Family Yarn, who both just made me feel like I could do this. When I first wrote my first pattern back in December and actually thought about putting it out there, both Kelly and Jane, oh, don't pluck my sweater please, both Kelly and Jane went from, yeah, became really good friends of mine online and made me feel like it was something I could do. And especially, I mean, Jane moral support, and her yarn was the yarn I used, and you know, I could message her at any point and she would be totally up for it, chatting. But Kelly almost helped me rewrite that first pattern to make me feel like it was finally fit to go out and into the world. And yeah, she did a lot for me there. So there's 2 stitch patterns in that, both Kelly and Jane sort of represented for me in a pattern. And yeah, the champion socks, they are now up on Ravelry for sale. If you are interested, they can be knit in just one colour, or they can be knit in the 5 20 gram minis that I did. Anyway, so that went up and I instantly had a meltdown. Went out with our friends for dinner this afternoon, and I definitely didn't feel myself, and I don't feel as chatty as I have been previously. Oh, you really did pluck my sweater. You know, I didn't feel as chatty as normal, and I felt a little nervy. And I will do a video at some point about how knitting both affects my anxiety and how I deal with it, and how it calms it, but also at times can scare the bejesus out of me. Yeah, I will do that at some point, because a few people have said to me, like, how do you, why do you keep doing this if it's that making you anxious? And I love it so much. It's the initial anxiety for me, and once I have got over that and I know I'm not having a heart attack, then I can start to be proud and enjoy, and it just takes me a little while to get there. I'm drinking a J2O, the queen of soft drinks. I don't drink fizzy, don't really drink hot drinks. Love a J2O, love a juice, not a squash. You know people who make a squash, like a Robinson's. Make it Robinson's. Robinson's is the squash, Robertson's is the jam. Up until I was married, I was a Robertson, and I always say, like, well, my granddad, like, people I know always said, if you're a Robertson, like the jam, not the squash. People who call squash juice. No, no, it's not juice. You didn't juice a fruit to get that squash. That is squash. Juice is orange juice or apple juice. Orange squash, apple and blackcurrant, yeah, apple squash. Apple and blackcurrant squash, squash. Nemo, stop it. Squash is different. Don't call it Mimo. Bish, 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 bish. Come and have a cuddle or go away. It's not the same. Please don't do that to me. I will go crazy. Rant over. Anyway, so yeah, I will do a video about anxiety and how because videos don't bother me one bit. Sitting in front of my phone talking to myself doesn't bother me in terms of anxiety, so I can talk about it that way when it's actually happening, and I'm freaking out to the point where I'm just sitting crying and telling my husband that I think I'm having a heart attack. That's different. Mimo, if you won't stop, there's gonna be trouble. Anyway, so this week, you would not stop. Don't pluck my sweater, please. So this week, I have some finished objects. We'll start with finished objects this week. Now I'm jiggling the table, sorry. The first one, if you hadn't noticed, is on my body. It's the Weekender, and I finished it. So this is the Weekender sweater by Andrea Mowry, and a few points on this sweater. I knit the large size. I'm a large lady. And it's supposed to have 10 inches of positive ease. I think I have more than that. Haven't actually measured it because now it's knit, nothing is going to happen and I don't care. But it is big and I love it. It makes me look like a sack of potatoes when I'm standing up. That's fine. Well, that's what I thought, and I was pretty sure it was just going to be a pyjama cuddly jumper, and then I wore it to my daughter's swimming lesson, and my friend thought it was lovely. My friend, who was very slim, thought it was lovely and asked me to knit her one. I did say no. I told her I would teach her to knit. She said I would come to you with so many problems that you would end up knitting it for me yourself, and I said no. So yeah, this is the Weekender. I love it. It's super comfy. I got gauge. I knit it with Stylecraft Special Aran, in a grey that I cannot remember the name of, and I spent £16 on all of the yarn. They were £2 a ball, £2 for 100 grams, so this is super cheap. 100% acrylic, I think. Might have a little bit of wool in it. Tiny? I'm not sure. Mainly acrylic. I think acrylic. So I haven't got a ball band, not near me. So I spent 16 quid, so I got 8 balls, and I have 2 full balls left that I didn't touch. So I made this sweater for £12. It's acrylic. It's a bit, no, it's super soft. It's not irritating me in even the slightest way. It really is special. I am a woman of all, like, I love all the yarns and I love all the budget prices, and really I don't have tons of money to be spending on yarn, even though sometimes I do spend tons of money on yarn, and this one was a real good choice for me budget wise. I wanted to join on the 16 weeks of Weekender knit along on Instagram, and I signed up. And the only reason I could sign up was because I bought this yarn. I could not have afforded to have bought any other brand or anything with natural fur. I just couldn't afford it. I was broke as. But this meant that I could join in. I joined in for about 5-6 weeks, and then I fell off the bandwagon well and truly. Forgot to keep posting. I was really ahead as well. I'd knit to like here by week 3. This is bottom up. So yeah, I fell off that train. I think it ended like a few weeks ago now. So I didn't even get my finished object in. I was quite sad about that. But But yeah, it's done now, and I got a gauge, knit the large size. Everything seemed fine for my measurements, like I was going to be fine. But then I was doing my sleeves. As you may notice, my sleeves are extra long. That is fine, because if I do wear it as a pyjama sweater, this is how I like to be. But it said to do all the decreases and then keep knitting straight, like, you know, flat, not flat, but you know what I mean, no changes, keep just knitting until you reached a certain amount of inches. I measured it after I finished all the decreases, and as you can see, the decreases are going on right down to here, and I was already 1.25 inches over what it told me to do, go to the end. I was like, I can't knit anymore, because that would be ridiculous. So I have this length sleeves. Yes, I could have very, very, very easily pulled it back, incredibly easily. I didn't want to. I am happy with this. I love a sweater that I can pull over my hands and snuggle into. I've been wearing this in lieu of a coat this week, because whilst it hasn't been hot, it's definitely been fine for this and no coat. So I finished this on Thursday before my little girl's swimming lesson, wore it there, pretty much been living in it ever since. I have had a few pulls. Oh no. The cat just pulled this. Look at that. That's fine, that's long enough. I can tuck that through to the back side. But it hasn't been plucked or washed. Obviously it's acrylic, so it shouldn't really grow or anything. Better not, because man, do not need any more. I might just do a dundon it and show you the weekender boobies. So yeah, it has there's the pluck. Oh, you can see it. Let's hope that buggers off. It has a split hem. Ooh, I'm too short. I mean, yeah, there we go. There's a split hem. Ha! No. I'm wearing it backwards. Not that it really matters. It doesn't really matter. But hey, now that pull is on the back. Okay. It has a split hem. This is the only way I can tell that it's the right way out. The right way around is because the front is a bit shorter than the back. I can't believe I was wearing my sweater backwards. I'm sure I checked as well. Anyway, so because it is Aran weight, and these aren't natural fibres, so they're not meshing together as natural fibres would often. I've already had a few instances of Ellie poking a finger through the fabric and making a bit of a hole. This one stitch here is a little bigger because she looped it up already. So yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. I'm thinking it'll last forever because it's acrylic, but we'll see how it holds up in terms of my loose gauge. But yeah, this is FO number 1 for this week. I have been well and truly nagged because when I decided that I really wanted to finish a couple of the whips that were languishing around this house, I happened to tell Mia of Brambles and Me and Katie of Geordie Knits. I told them in our group chat, and the next thing you know, I was getting hassled and I was getting nagged. Well, actually, it lit a fire under me. Normally, I'm proper like push back. No, I'm not doing it. But no, it lit a fire. So I finished this, and then I went and got some more of my whips out. And next, what did I finish next? Next, I finished. Oh, this has been living, the Weekender has been living in my Yarn in the City tote bag that I got from Yarnporium last year. I think I've now got a habit of collecting a tote bag from every show I go to. So yeah, Yarn in the City tote bag is now free. I'll take this ball of yarn that was not used out. As are the needles. So this has been affectionately named in my house Project Free the Needles, because I'm always looking for needles and never have any because they are always in whips. So I am freeing up the project bags and I'm freeing up the needles, and I have this and some interchangeable tips from the Weekender. These are interchangeable Knit Pros again from the Weekender, and then this is the rubbishy old pony needle that I was using to 3 needle bind off. So those are in here, and I am going to start stacking up needles because I never have any, especially sock needles. That brings me on to the next thing. This is a design. I will write this up and I will get it out to you guys soon. It is a slippery sort of, it's a slipper sort of little design that I've done. It is knit in one piece, and there's the toe, and it starts with a provisional cast on. You knit a toe like you're doing a toe up sock, and then it ends here after the heel. So I'm not going to put it on a sock blocker because actually these don't work out as well for a sock blocker. You can see the shape here. These were an idea sent to me by a nice friend who was dyeing yarn, and she was looking for a pattern to go with it. She has since stopped dyeing yarn and hasn't contacted me about this anymore, so I'm just going to do this one on my own. You know, it was something she wanted to do in kits with her yarn, but she isn't doing that anymore. So that's fine because I really, really like this pattern. It took quite a lot of working out, and yeah, here we go. So toe here, heel here, and they're like a little slip-on. Well, they are finished. I started these ages ago, wrote up the pattern in my notes on my phone, so it's not properly written up, and then lost steam about halfway through the second one. So I pulled that out. I was living in my lovely little So Beautiful by Nicola bag. She gave me this as an extra for being one of her first customers. She sent a little free gift. Thought about giving it away, but it was my free gift, and I really wanted it, and I really like it, and I kept it. So this is going in here, and this is ancient stash yarn. I don't even know what it is. It could be anything. I have been wearing these. I have made them a little big for myself by accident when I was trying out the pattern, and then I thought I might as well make the second one the same. And so anyone who's got a size 8 feet, because I'm a size 7 UK, so anyone who's got bigger plates to meet than me, let me know, because I don't know anyone. If I get loads of people asking, you know, first come, first serve. I have someone I can give them to, actually. I'm not sure. They'll probably just live in my gift drawer until I find someone with big enough feet who I need to give a present to. So that's those. I want to reknit them quite soon with a skein of Lay Family yarn that I have that would be perfect, and there's a few modifications that I want to do for the pattern so that you can mod them to be different. So this frees up this project bag. There's the remainder of the yarn. There's not a massive cake there. It wasn't 100 grams to start with. You could make those, I'm sure, from about 50 grams of yarn, probably less. So this is going to be balled back up and go into my scraps stash, because I am planning on hopefully swapping some advent calendars with some friends this year, so I'm going to make them up from all of my leftover sock yarn. That will go in there. This bag is free, and so are these. I can't remember what these are. I think they are Knit Pro Novas. Not 100%. That can go in there. That can go down there. Purple cable, guys, and a silver needle. I'm pretty sure those were the Knit Pro Novas that I got at Waltham Abbey Wool Show. Anyway, they were 2.25 because that is now my needle of choice, and I really liked working with them, had no issues. I've had some real issues with Knit Pro Zings recently. No issues with these, they were lovely. So they're going in the Free the Needles needle tub. Next finished object. Where are you? Here you are. So if anyone remembers this bag came from South Africa. My parents went to South Africa last year with my granddad and to see his brother who lives out there, and brought me back this cosmetic bag, or wash bag. My mum gave it to me. I was like, oh my god, I love it, it's a wash bag, definitely going to put my knitting in. She laughed and was like, yeah, I knew that, that's why I got it, yeah. So it is a wash bag. I'm using it as a project bag because any bag could be a project bag. And if it's too small to be a project bag, it could be a notions pouch. Anyway, these are finished. So these are my show us your scraps pattern, the original Cheshire Scraps pattern, because I now have the Cheshire Scraps, the socks pattern as well. These are listed up on Ravelry. They're actually my only pattern to be listed under my married name. So I'm Laura Bales, but I got married last year. Before that I was Laura Robertson. You know, left behind my good strong Scottish name for a name that I am going to be having to say for the rest of my life. It's Laura Bales. Bales, that's B-A-I-L-E-S. There we go. Yeah, so I made these, and they are the only pattern that is listed under Laura Bales, because ever since then I've just clicked the button on Ravelry to say my design, which I didn't realise until the other day makes me instantly Laura Robertson, because I don't know how to change my name on Ravelry. I know how to change my username, I don't know how to go back and change my original name. No clue. Kind of like that it's a little bit of Laura Robertson. Now I think I probably have to clarify that everywhere so that everyone knows that these are my patterns. But yeah, so the Cheshire Scraps fingerless mitts pattern. These actually aren't knit to pattern, they're a little bit smaller. When I first wrote this pattern out, I did not do enough stitches. And I already cast these on and knit half of them before we changed that, me and Kelly. Kelly really, this was her, like, she saved me on this pattern and helped me kind of learn how to write a knit pattern. But yeah, so these, they are ultimately the same. They just don't have as many stitches cast on, so they're very small and quite tight. And I was already here. I didn't, or here, on both of them. I'd knit them two at a time, but on separate needles, like concurrently, not, is that what I mean? You know what I mean. There was two, and every other day, I opened my advent calendar and I added a stripe. 1, 1, 1, 1, like that. And I got to here on both of them, and then I stopped. I think I was there on that one and that one, yeah. And then I stopped, mainly because I just had loads of other things going on, and I was actually test knitting the pattern again with the larger size in 2 20-gram minis that Jane of Family Tree Yarns had sent me. So these didn't get finished, and I have been wanting to finish them ever since. They are a bit small. They are Ellie's. She took them off. I was going to give them to my friend. When I realised that they were a little bit small, I decided I couldn't do it. Ellie is my daughter. And I finished one, and she went, oh, me wear. And I put it on her, and of course it is huge because she is 2, but she will grow into them, and actually they weren't that huge that she probably couldn't wear them. Her fingers like came out that much. But you know what? She's a toddler. She needs warm hands. So I'm going to put those in her pile of like hats and cowls and little things that she has for her to pick out when she wants to. She'll probably just wear them around the house until she grows into them. So yeah, these are from my advent calendar, which I got from the amazing Jane of Family Tree Yarns, and oh my gosh, all of her yarns are just beautiful. She gave me 10-gram minis. These probably take 2 to 3 grams of each mini. So in here I have a ton of sort of 7-ish gram minis. It's not all the minis from these because I'd already transferred some of them over. These are going in my northeasterly blanket by Skein-Anigans, that's Melissa. So there's quite a few little scraps, little balls in here that will go into that bag when I find it, because I've done something with that and I don't know where it's gone. It's not under there. A lot of things get left under there. So I will empty this out of all of those into the northeasterly bag to be put into that blanket. They're not going into further advent calendars or swaps because she already swapped them with me and I want to use them all. Anyway, because I was knitting these 1 by 1, 2 at a time, I have two, that is definitely going to be the face that I get on YouTube. I've got hiccups. Oh, that was like a hiccup. Not sure what that was. I've got a really sore throat, and every now and then I've been having like a little uncomfortable moment. Probably exacerbated by the fact that I'm drinking a very sugary drink at 20 to 10. Anyway, 2 knit prosings going into my tub. Look how many needles are in my tub. So another finished object, up there. Another bag that I can now empty out and put into my stash of bags. One last finished object. Yes, there are 4. I still can't believe there are 4. I finished, literally 2 minutes before I came in here to record this, I finished the Blakelaw socks. So this is the design by the amazing Katie of the Geordie Knits podcast. She is my friend, she is my knitting bestie, and she designed these socks and they are fabulous. I test knit them for her, but she only needed me to, you know, test knit one sock to be able to say that they were fine, which I did, and they were. She has a lovely, lovely design. They are up on Ravelry for sale. She did offer it out for free for a while, so I know there's a few people out there who did get it, quite a few, so I can't wait to see more pop up and this will be matching. But they are fabulous, and yeah, her pattern is now up for sale if you would like to try it. It is a really easy, easy to follow pattern, and it creates this lovely texture. And yeah, the second one is on the blocker. Probably won't wet block these, I'm not really bothered about blocking my socks. So, this pair of socks, they were knit from, Stranded yarn. I've got a good chunk of cake left, so yeah, if you swap with me in an advent, you might well get some of that in there. Oh, there's my mascara. I don't wear it often enough to notice. Oh, I've got all the stuff in here because I kind of used it as a little bit of a handbag today, so I've got a couple of Allen keys. I don't use Allen keys. Someone asked me if she could borrow them, and I dug around in our utility room. I had no idea. Anyway, Strand Dyeworks. So this is the amazing Amy Florence on Instagram, and it's the colourway Glass Slipper, and I got this at Unravel, and yeah, I think this is my first skein from Unravel that I've finished. Yeah, I'm sure I haven't knit with any of the others or finished anything with them. So yeah, these socks, you can tell one is not blocked. This yarn really, and this pattern, this is a really squishy, stretchy pattern, so whilst it might look a little small now, once it's blocked, it really opens up and you can see the gorgeous eyelets, which you might not be able to see so much in the unblocked one, because this one has been wet blocked. And look how much my sock stretched into the perfect size, like literally. You can tell because it's easy when you're knitting them because the bottom of the sock is stockinette, so it's not affected by the squishy lace, so you know how long your sock is going to be. So I knew how long it would be, but because the top opened up, it just came so beautiful. So they look like different sizes, but they're actually not. This is how it's meant to be, and this is what fits me perfectly. This is the unblocked version. Anyway, these are going in my, it's already open because I took my champion socks out, put them back in my box of socks. So this is the box that I got from TK Maxx, and it now has, oh, Marie Kondo would not be happy with me, my poor socks have not been laid neatly in here. I'm not going to roll them like she rolls them yet, because there are only 3 pairs in this whole box. Here they are. So we have the Cheshire Scraps the socks, that's my design. We have the Champion socks, that's my design. And we have the Blakelaw socks, that is Katie's design, Geordie Knits. All in my absolutely lovely box from TK Maxx that lives in my living room. Yeah, so they are done, and those were knit on Chow Goose red lace. Chow Goose. 2.25 on 80cm. I'm actually really chuffed. I'm going to even put these back in the cases. What I want to do with all of the needles that I have, but I have been a bad person in the past who has thrown away the cases and gone, oh, that's a bit of rubbish, and then been like left with all these needles afterwards. So yeah, Chow Goose. I think these are my favourites now. I think my tastes have changed and now I have Chow Goose as my favourites. So these will be casting on something really soon. I will tell you about it in a little while. And they have gone in there. So I think that's everything for my Free the Needles project. but you know, there's a few in there, which is nice. I really want to have, because I have a needles bag upstairs which is giant and overflowing, but the majority of the things in there are straights. I have needles that were my grandma's, I have needles that were my great-ma's, and I have many pairs of needles from charity shops that I have gone and hunted out. And so these ones are going to be my more using all the time, because even when I need straights, I really use circulars now. So that's that. There is two things that I've been working on this week that I have not finished. The first thing is this pair of Knit Picks Felici, just plain, all knit in the round, no issues socks. I was thinking, I was originally going to put a short row heel on this. I'm now going to do a heel back and gusset. I might hunt out some other yarn if I can find something that matches nicely. In fact, I might stop on these pretty soon. I think I'm just going to do the orangey, pink, salmony sort of stripe, and then put it to one side and dig out some yarn that I want to use for the heels, just so that I don't mess with the striping. This is living in my Gilly Makes Snoopy bag, which I absolutely love, and it's being knit on 2.25mm Addies. Got a bag. Yeah, this is the Knit Picks in the unicorn colourway, and it was sent to me by an amazing online friend. When I had been raving about the fact that I really wanted to try Knit Picks and never had, and couldn't at that point, didn't have the yarn budget that month, but I had seen that there was a load on the website and was a bit like, oh, I hope there still is. And they had a sale and I shared it, and someone said, one of my friends said, I have some that I might not use, do you want it? And I was like, yes please. She sent me 2 full balls to make socks for myself, and then 2 part balls that I think were colourway sprinkles, and said you might want to make socks for your toddler. I did. Ellie has socks. She loves them. So yeah, those have had a little bit of work when I went to the zoo this week, so that I had something that I didn't need to concentrate on. And the only other thing that has had work on it is a secret project living in this bag. It is, I don't know how long this is going to be a secret for, because I hadn't really intended to keep it a secret. It was more just, it is my project for Perth. So I have said before that I am going to Perth Festival of Yarn this year in September. I'm incredibly excited. The details all came out last week for what is going on. Like, the website is live and has all the information on it. And then I think it's like the 27th of April, it's near the end of April, all of the tickets go live. I haven't really got a big budget. This is already becoming my sort of family holiday for this year, because Chris and Ellie are coming with me, and I'm just going to abandon them on the Saturday and Sunday to go to the festival. But I would like to go to the gala on the gala dinner on the Saturday night with Katie and Mia. We need to try and get tickets, and I need to pay for my weekend entry into the festival. If I can afford anything nearer the time, like maybe a class, if I have the money, and there's any slots available, then I'll try and get in. So yeah, I'm knitting something that is specifically with Perth in mind. I wanted to design a shawl. I already have one shawl design that is nearly finished. That is the pink and yellow one that I'm still thinking on names for, that I finished a couple of weeks ago. But I'm also knitting something out of Mia's yarn. So Mia is Brambles and Me, and she will be exhibiting at the festival. She is one of the vendors. And I bought 2 skeins of yarn from Mia a little while ago. This is what I mean about my project bags. These are parts of Ellie's wooden train. My stuff just gets full of everyone else's stuff. Anyway, so Mia of Brambles and Me, I bought, this is her logo on one of her little tags. I bought the Rockfall base, which has 85% superwash blue face Leicester and 15% Donegal Nep, and I bought it in the Cherished Moments and Rosy Cheeks colours. So they are just gorgeous, and look at that, those little neps in They are so beautiful. But somehow this has become a secret project. I need to talk to Mia about it because I was always going to release it beforehand, probably like in the summer. But it's sort of my road to Perth because I am going to meet Mia. I'm going to might meet her at Monty, but I'm going to see Mia and Katie at Perth. And they've become really, really good friends of mine. And yeah, it's something I'm knitting from Mia's yarn. And it's going to have 8 parts to it. And it takes 8 hours to get to Perth from me, according to Google. So yeah, it's sort of my build-up knit to going to Perth, that, you know, this is what I'm doing on the way there, sort of idea. And it's living in a bag that I will talk to you about in a minute. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about it now because those are all my whips. So, stash enhancement this week. I have bought nothing. You would be so proud. The reason I have bought nothing is because it's not payday until this week coming. And I'm poor. I'm not poor. I'm just, like, compared to some people, I'm really, really not poor. I'm fine. But in terms of disposable income, I don't have any this week. Haven't had any this week. I've had to hold off on a lot of things. But something did come in the post. So, I had been messaged by the amazing Jo on Instagram, So Can Jo, to say, would I like a couple of project bags. She did the same for Katie. Katie got 2 amazing project bags, and I got 2 amazing project bags in the post. Weirdly enough though, and I did bring this with me, came through the door in one of these. My address is not here. Our sincere apologies, it says. So, it was battered, like it had been wrapped in brown paper, and it was just like ripped apart, like not open, like there was nothing left of it. Thankfully, Jo had put the bags into a large Ziploc bag inside, so it was fine. They were fine, nothing had happened to them. I do not know what happened to my package. It's the first time that's ever happened. I've never had a ripped up package before. Anyway, she asked if she could send a couple, she asked if she could send a bag. Actually, she said, can I send you a bag to give away on your podcast? And I was like, I would love that. Thank you so, so much. Like, having a podcast is seriously fun and I love it. But I want to do giveaways. I want to do knit-alongs. I want to have prizes. And first of all, buying the things for those prizes can get pricey. And then having to post those things can get pricey, especially because I want to be inclusive and I want to include anyone in the world. I want anyone to be able to join in, because I've joined in with a lot of things that have been all over the world before. Then, you know, that's great, and I get my winner and they're like, woohoo, love it. I then have to post to the other side of the world. It's expensive, and I still want to do it, but every little helps. So if someone is so amazing and wants to give me a prize, I'm not going to look a gift horse to the mouth, because that's a part that I don't have to pay for, and I can still get to join in, I still get to do things. And you know, if people want to donate, I would really appreciate that. I love that. There is no obligation though at any point. You do not have to donate, especially just because you're someone who makes something or because I've bought something from you before. But when people say they want to, I get an overwhelming feeling of joy, because it means I can carry on doing these things, or possibly do more than I was planning on, and still get to have all that fun, but not struggle financially to do it. Anyway, back to Jo, So Can Jo. She is amazing. She said, can I send you a project bag to give away on a podcast? I was like, yeah, of course, that would be amazing, thank you. She did not send me a project bag. She sent me 2. And a note, a lovely card that said that I could keep one and give one away. I messaged her because I was like, how am I going to pick? Because these are both so amazing, it hurts my brain. She said I could keep them both. I am not that cruel to you guys. You need some of this in your life. So, I'll show you this one first. It is a gold fabric. Can you see it sparkles? Gold metallic fabric. And then cats wearing flower crowns. Cats wearing flower crowns. This one has glasses. I mean, what? This is amazing. It has a really lovely, sturdy handle. It is a lovely size. This drawstring bag. I'm not going to draw it because it's all neat and tidy. And it has Joe's little tag here at Joe. Handmade by. Handmade by Joe. Handmade by Joe. What am I doing? And then it has just a white lining, and oh, it's so nice. I love it. Katie over on Geordie Knits, she got one as well. Hers is dogs, and we could have matched her with her cats and her me with my cats and her with her dogs. But this one was also in there. There's little cats hanging on a washing line. Like, oh, they're little cats hanging, except for apparently my daughter thinks that these ones with the black spots are cows. But they are cats. Then there's like, oh, look at that colour. Look at the gorgeous goldy, mustardy yellow. It's just, I'm like, oh, love it. Same lining, same tag. Where's Joe's little tag? There it is, Joe, there you are. And I just was like, I have to keep this one. It kind of goes with a lot of the things that I wear / own colour-wise. I'm really into this colour at the moment. It might clash a little if I ever finish my floozy, because that's sort of this exact colour. But maybe I just won't use this bag with the floozy. Maybe I'll never wear the floozy because I'm going to be using this bag like forever and a day. So I kept this one. Katie got one the same as this, and then she got a dog flower crown one. She's going to keep the dog flower crown one, so I feel a little less guilty. At least I'm pretty sure that's what she's doing. I feel a little less guilty because I'm like, well, that means that you guys, in whatever giveaway she chooses to use that for, will get the chance at one of these when I'm keeping this one. And, you know, you can get the chance at the cat flower crown one on my side, though I don't want to give it away. Looks like I'm just stroking my boob. I'm going to stop. But yeah, this bag. And I've been carrying it around all week, and it's sort of been a little bit of a handbag as well with the wooden train parts in it. But it's so amazing, and oh my gosh, Joe, I can't say thank you enough times because I love it. It's such a perfect size. Anyway, so I said to Joe, are you selling them? Please say you're selling them because they're so fabulous. They're so squishy yet sturdy. They're such a good fabric. They're strong. Yeah, I love it to pieces. And so yeah, I said, are you selling them? She said, might do. And then she's dropped other watch this space hints since then. So go and follow So Can Joe on Instagram if you're interested, because it's fabulous. And it's all pester her to start shop. I'm gonna pester you, Joe. I want one of those flower crown animal bags. I need to buy one so that I can still give that one away. So yeah, this came this week, as did that other bag for a giveaway, and I am overwhelmed by how amazingly generous that is and how gorgeous they are, and thank you very much. My throat is going, I have a cold, we've all had it. First time in a long time that I haven't blamed it on the 2-year-old. This one is my husband's, he bought it with him from work. Not her fault for once. Anyway, so knitting plans for this week. My secret project. That will have a bit more work on it. I'm not sure if that will get finished. I have dug out. Oh, so those socks hopefully will get a bit more work on. I have dug out my Jibbyroo Sews nice big bag. There is a bag that I really want on the Jibbyroo Sews website, Etsy page. Really want. We'll see. I'm going to see if I can afford it this month. I'm not 100%. Their bags are ridiculously reasonably priced though. This is just my extremely tight budget because I want to buy tickets for Perth and sort out other things this month. So I'm not sure I'm going to have any money. It's going to be really boring on the stash enhancement side, sorry guys. But Jibbyroo Sews bags are incredibly reasonably priced and lovely and squishy, and I really like this bag. It's the one I bought to kind of match Katie of Geordie Knits, because she had one, I think it had like a teal or green bottom to it, and I wanted about a circus print bag. This holds, you'll know if you've watched before, my dishcloths, well not dishcloths, I'm using this face cloths. This one needs to be sewn up and then it will look like it's a friend here. Because I bought the sugar and cream the other week and wanted to make a couple out of that. It literally has the very beginnings of another one. These are little shorty Knit Pro Symphonies, and so I'll finish this one off, and then I've got a couple of nice colours of Lily Sugar and Cream, so I'll knit a few out of that, I think, before I go back to the Mowry ones. So hopefully I'll get at least one face. I've got hiccups. Hopefully I'll get at least one face cloth done this week. The other thing that I want to cast on that isn't really a cast on, at least that's what I'm telling myself, so that Katie and Mia cannot judge me. I do want to work on more whips. I will work on more whips. I'm going to work on those whips. Plus I have a pair of shorty socks that are ready for a heel, and then it's just the foot. Like, I just need to, they'll be quickish, and they're on 2 at a time on one needle. But I have this thing where someone gifts me something, I want to work with it straight away, all the time. If you've gifted me something at any point and I'm not working on it, or I haven't worked on it yet, it's not because I don't love it, it's just because I have a million projects on the go and no spare needles. And so I actually ripped the needles out of this. This amazing skein of Dragon Hill Studios was gifted to me by my fabulous friend Sharon of the SCR1TNO podcast. She gifted me this skein and I cast it on and started knitting it because I desperately wanted to have it on the needles when I met her on Ravel, and I did have it on the needles. And then the lovely lady at Dragon Hill Studios booth went and said to me, because I said I want to buy a 20-gram mini to use for heels and toes. I'm just frogging this. And she said, we've got the individual colours out of, some of the individual colours out of this skein. You could have one for toes and one for cuffs. And we were just like picking backwards and forwards. And then she said, I will give you a little box of mini eggs. She had a mini egg colourway there for sale, and it was coming up for Easter and all that. I will give you a little box of mini eggs if you buy all 3 of these colours, which all go in with them, and use one for heels, one for toes, and one for cuffs. Well, I was like, I've already cast on this one. She was like, you rip it out, start again. I'll give you this very little cardboard tubby thing of mini eggs. I like chocolate. I bought 3. I really want to knit these. So, and because I kind of had already cast these on, I ripped the needles out because I was gonna, I actually ripped the needles out to use on another project, I'm not gonna lie. But I didn't have a problem with ripping the needles out because I knew I was going to need to do that to get this to this. But now I have 2 pairs of 2.25s, my Novas and my Chalgoos. So I can put one of those pairs, probably the Chalgoos, because I like them more, into these. I'm thinking cuffs. Heels and toes. Heels. Cuffs. Toes. Cuffs, toes, heels. So those are going to get cast on because I really want those ones. I really want those socks. And I need Sharon to know that I love it loads. So that's the plan for this week. Any other whips that I find in the cupboard under the stairs, which is a forest of whips. If there's anything that's close to being finished, I might be tempted with that. And I might try and pull out my Tania and work on that a little bit. We shall see. It's all a little excessive. But 4 whips off the needles this week. So I can't be whinging too much because that's pretty good going for me. Anyway, that is everything. So it's just a recap of my week. Now I've done all of this without show notes because I went to bed quite late. She struggled to go to bed tonight and I didn't have the time that I usually have to write up my show notes. So Have I forgotten anything that I was supposed to say? Oh, podcasts! Knew there'd be something. So, it's off the top of my head, so I might not remember everything. I have watched Geordie Knits, because I always watch Geordie Knits, because she is fabulous and my knitting bestie. I have watched Morgan, Rambling Needles. You should go and check her out. She is fabulous. Who else? Magic Needles. That's what we're calling her. I've not watched a lot this week at all. I know I watched the last episode of the Hairy Sheep podcast. I'm sure that was this week. The fabulous Emma and Rosie. Who else? I'm about 5 minutes into SCR1TNO. That is my lovely yarn mum. I've adopted her. Maybe the other way around. I have claimed her as my yarn mum. She is my yarn mum. I don't share. Yeah, Sharon. Her podcast went up this evening, and I've watched about 5 minutes before I came in here to record. I will finish that either tonight or probably in the morning. Stranded. Amy of the Stranded Dyeworks company and Stranded podcast. I have watched her because I always watch her on a Thursday when she comes out. I actually don't really watch her. Plug her into my car stereo and sort of listen to her. Well, I do listen to her on the way to my daughter's swimming lesson. So I don't always get to see the joy of all the things that she is showing. So sometimes I watch it back on like a million times speed just so I can watch the actual yarns. As how I watch a lot of my podcasts, to be honest, they are on in the background whilst I am trying to parent or tidy or clean. Tidy and clean happens a lot. The reason I haven't watched, I might have missed some, I don't think I have, I haven't written any show notes, it's awful. The reason that I haven't watched as many as I usually would, because I would usually watch a ton and a half, is because I got back into Outlander. I think it was Sharon who mentioned a while ago that she was watching Outlander and really liked it. I had watched the first two series. I had watched the first two series, and just fallen off the train. I loved it because oh my god, big Scottish big man. Gorgeous. Not gonna lie. And Claire, this beautiful face, always has amazing hair. Gorgeous. They're all amazingly gorgeous people. I bet people in the Scottish Highlands back then did not look as good as those two people. Bet they were grubby. They didn't have toilets. If they didn't have toilets, they were probably very grubby. But you know, good TV. Like I went on an Outlander binge. I finished season 4. I am now sitting and waiting patiently for season 5. Probably next year. End of this year? November? Last one came out in November? Not sure. Can't remember. So, now I'm like, nothing is as good as Outlander. Sat here with nothing good to watch. We'll take any recommendations I have. Amazon Prime and Netflix. Remember, it's UK Netflix, so it doesn't have half of the good stuff that American Netflix has. I've got loads of programs on the go, I always do, but I was left with a little Outlander like slump because I'd finished it. And it was this week when Dragon Horde Yarns released all of their Outlander colourways, and I was like, it was fate, they were meant to be mine. Oh yeah, I'm broke, I can't have any. So, yeah, all got a bit close then, didn't we? So, yeah, no Outlander yarn for me, but, oh, Outlander, oh. So, yeah, I watched all of that, and now I'm feeling a little bereft of any good TV. So I'm back to my knitting podcast this week. So this week, I'm off track. This week, Monday, worked late. Tuesday, worked today. Yeah, it's the week 4. I worked today. A day shift. And then Wednesday, Oh, Wednesday I went to the zoo. My friend drove, because I'm a little broke until payday, so we were like, we'll share a car, and she was like, I'll drive this week, you'll drive next week, so I'm driving this week coming. We went to the zoo that we have a season pass. We have a season pass for our local wildlife park, and it has a sister zoo that is like an hour away, and she drove. Yay! So we all bundled into the car and I knit, and that is where I knit pretty much down to here on the first sleeve of the Weekender, and had a all-round lovely time. Wasn't the warmest, but it didn't rain on us while we were there, and the kids had a great time, and I knit on my stripy Felici socks whilst we walked around. Well, when I wasn't, because we had a pushchair, we had pushchairs because our kids are 2, but whenever we were stopped for like a talk or anything like that, there was an amazing animal show. I just got my knitting out and had it going on. And Thursday we had a swimming lesson, which was much better than last week. If you watched last week's episode, you might remember that I cried during last week's swimming lesson and after in the change rooms. Mostly silently. I have my pride. She was a little difficult last week. This week was a lot easier, and yeah, I didn't cry. And now we don't have swimming for a couple of weeks because it's the Easter holidays. Not that that affects me because my child is 2 and I don't work in a school, so just means that my drive to work in the mornings is a little easier because I don't have the school traffic to contend with. And Friday we had a bit of a house day in the morning, and then in the afternoon went to my sister-in-law's with all our little friends, so there was 4 2-year-olds, and just had a nice time playing around there. And then Saturday we mainly stayed in the house. My husband went to a football match, so he doesn't moan about my knitting, so I do not moan about the football. So he went to a Norwich City game, because that is the team that he supports and it's quite close to us. And yeah, then we all went and got pizza from Asda and had pizza for dinner. And then today I released my Champion Socks pattern and promptly had my normal panic attack. I will talk about anxiety and how it works with me with knitting, but basically it feels like I'm having a heart attack and I can't breathe. And actually it was a little easier this time, but I still felt sick afterwards. And then we went for a carvery with our friends, and then I came back here, struggled to put my toddler to bed, came down here and spoke to you guys with a lot of knitting in between. So that's what's gone on this week, and I think that's about it. We are just over an hour. That's a long podcast for me chatting about my knitting. So I hope I haven't bored you brainless, but yeah, if I haven't and you're still out there and survived, thank you so much for getting through this one with me. It's actually been really therapeutic to come and have a chat. I was having a stressful day. You guys, even though I'm just talking to my phone, you chill me out. So yeah, I am going to go to bed. I'll edit this in the morning and put it up like I normally do on the Monday. And I will try and remember to do an Instagram post tagging people this week, because I always put my show notes underneath, which has all the information of the people that I have talked about, but I keep forgetting to do the Instagram post to go along with it. So yeah, that I think is everything this week. If I have forgotten anything, anyone wants to shout out and tell me, please do. And I'm going to bed. So thank you guys, as always, for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.